Hey everybody, so we are well into the NHL offseason, and that means it's time to bring back a classic offseason video series, NHL Remember Him, where we take a look back on NHL players that I remember from growing up that weren't superstar players that everyone would know and necessarily remember, but had really solid NHL careers and are definitely worth remembering. Guys that might jog your memory a little bit and bring back some memories and nostalgia. Just hearing that name of, oh yeah, I remember him playing for this team or whatever. It's a lot of fun to kind of be reminded of some of these guys and the NHL careers that they did have. So I'm going to be doing these throughout the rest of the off season, and it's always a lot of fun. For this one, we're going to start with a longtime NHLer, one of the best players to ever come out of my home state of Massachusetts. It's Tony Amonte. Tony Amonte was a right winger drafted in the 4th round, 68th overall by the New York Rangers all the way back in 1988. And he played a long time in the NHL, putting up over 1,100 career games played with 1,174. He scored 416 career goals, 484 career assists for 900 points on the dot and a plus 96 rating. And on top of that, he played 99 playoff games, scoring 22 goals, 33 assists for 55 points, and a plus 16 rating in the postseason. He's probably best known as a Chicago Blackhawk, as he was an alternate captain and eventually captain of the Blackhawks team. He spent the longest tenure of his career with a single team was with Chicago from the mid-90s all the way through the early 2000s. And as you can see, he put together a very good NHL career. He started with the Rangers, the team that drafted him from 1991 to 1993. The 1993-94 season, he split between New York and Chicago. And once he was traded to Chicago, he stayed there all the way through 2002. And then the 2002-2003 season, he split between the Phoenix Coyotes and the Philadelphia Flyers. Philadelphia kept him for 2003-2004, and then obviously the lockout happened. 2004-2005 season did not happen. Coming back from the lockout, he was a member of the Calgary Flames, where he played the last 2 years of his career from 2005 to 2007, and then almost 20 years after being drafted, he retired from the NHL. So, obviously, Amonte is definitely a guy worth remembering. He had 900 career points. He's one of the best players ever to come out of the state of Massachusetts. He had a very long NHL career, a very good NHL career. He put up some big numbers, and obviously was a very important player for the Chicago Blackhawks for a long time. He ended up being a real leader there. Obviously a captain, an alternate captain. Then he went to Philadelphia in the 2003, played there for part of a season and then a full season in 2003-2004, and then was a veteran guy in Calgary to end his career. But he was a guy that, obviously being from Massachusetts, I heard a lot about growing up. And he's a fun guy to look back on. It had some very productive seasons in the NHL. Not a guy that was Hall of Fame level, but definitely a guy that was noteworthy and a really good player for a really long time. And you don't stay in the NHL for almost 20 years if you're not a really good player. So Amonte made himself quite the NHLer throughout the 90s and into the 2000s, and was a really good player and a really good leader for a lot of teams throughout his career. And was never really the superstar guy, was never really the guy that was going to lead the team or the league in points or anything like that, but always a really good first, second line guy, and obviously brought a lot to the locker room as well. So Tony Amonte from 1991 through 2007, longtime NHLer, drafted all the way back in 1988. I certainly remember him. I remember watching him at the end of his career, the year in Philadelphia, and then obviously with Calgary at the very end. I remember that. Obviously, looking back on the history, he's best known as a Chicago Blackhawk and had a very, very good career with the Chicago Blackhawks. Played for, let's see, 5 different teams. Yeah, New York, Chicago, Phoenix, Philly, and Calgary. So 5 different teams. And is definitely one of those American-born players that is one of the better American-born players to ever play in the league. So awesome guy to look back on and remember, and he was a really important guy for teams throughout most of his career, and really put up some good numbers and was a really big leader for a lot of teams that he played on as well. So that is NHL Remember Him, Tony Amonte. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. All those links are down in the description. If you'd like to further support the channel, the links to our Patreon merchandise store, donation link, and channel memberships down in the description as well. Keep spreading the word about this channel. Let's keep this thing growing. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you guys soon.